Hi everyone, and welcome to The Urban Investor, where I track my single income family of four's journey to FIRE, that's financial independence, retire early. In this video, I will review my April income and expenses, calculate my investment and savings rate, as well as look at how my index fund has grown this month. Please do check out my last video where I review my April net worth. So March was my highest savings rate on record, but April was not even half. But it's okay. Back at the end of 2018, I started to incur a ton of credit liabilities. I took out 2 car leases at the cost of over 10k over 3 years. I took out 2 years interest-free credit on a sofa and quickly maxed out a credit card and borrowed off various family members as renovation costs quickly spiraled. By the end of Q1 2019, I racked up over 60k in debt on top of a new mortgage which was only 6 months old at that point in time. Since then, I have now just 1 car lease remaining and a credit card balance summing to just over 7k, so you can see why I am not too concerned with the low savings rate, as I have been effectively using almost every penny to reduce this mammoth debt. To see what were this month's movements, let's begin with my dashboard as usual, where we can take a deep dive into each tile. So moving on, we can see my investment and savings has declined or decreased 60% month on month, giving me a savings rate of just under 25%. Despite this low investment and savings rate, I have managed to save and invest over 19k, which I am very pleased with. So moving on, we can see the low savings rate isn't entirely expected given the minor deviation to my budget. First of all, my take home income is not 13.5k. I mean, I wish. This month I dipped into my savings to pay off a large personal loan of around 8.5k. You can see my income came in slightly lower than expected and my expenses were flat pretty much. More on my expenses or the allocation of this in a later slide. So where have I spent my income in April? Kicking off, I begin by paying myself £3,200. Around £1,100 went into my property, where I continue to make small overpayments to chip away at my mortgage. Around £2,000 went into my pension, which actually only cost me £857. The remaining £1,200 is free money. I get circa £600 from tax relief by paying into my pension, and the remaining circa £600 comes from employer matches. Other debt usually is my credit card, but this month I paid the minimum payment of only £59, with the remaining 8.5k going towards a personal loan. I'll continue to pay off my credit card from next month and aim to clear the 6k balance over the next 4 months. Housing is in line with prior month, and this is basically interest on my mortgage, utilities, broadband and council tax. Transport is just 1 car lease now, as one has ended last month. I did have some servicing costs, which is why it's still quite high. Next month I expect this figure to halve. Food, charity and misc is broadly in line with prior months, and then finally entertainment, which is our fun budget. This month we stayed on track and spent just under 50 quid. In May 2017 we come out of lockdown and we have half term coming up, so I'm sure we're going to smash this budget, unfortunately. Moving on to investment and savings rate, my rate has fallen from 69% to 24%, but as I mentioned before, this was expected with the massive loan repayment. I expect to be around 50 to 60% for the next 3 to 5 months as I continue to target the credit card before I hopefully go back up to the 70s or 70%. Next, we have the year-to-date look at my expenses, and just focusing on the main buckets, we can see I've managed to save and invest almost 19k in 4 months, which is great. Other debt has accounted for 29% of my spend, which is mainly my credit card and personal loans. This high percentage is testament to my strategy of paying off all my consumer debt this year, so hopefully this bucket becomes 1 or 2% in 2022. Housing is largely out of my control, whereas transport is something I'm hoping to reduce, given now I have only 1 car lease left and 1 has ended. So yeah, hopefully this will reduce soon, as the second one will end in November. Finally, entertainment is only 1%, which I'm very pleased with. Just 1% over 4 months shows the discipline needed to reach FIRE. Will be interesting to see if I can maintain this, because as I said, half term is coming up and then we've got end of term, i.e. summer holidays. So with the kids, it's going to be even more tricky to stay on budget. So next we have my index fund growth from my pension. You can see I'm edging closer to 60k. I'm aiming to get to a minimum of 75k hopefully by the end of this year, which would be about 50% increase from the start of the year, which is pretty decent. So what do you guys think of my income and expenses? Are you tracking your own? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to follow my FIRE journey here on YouTube. I've also set up an Instagram page where I'll be sharing more regular content, so please check me out there as well. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video.